and I found a way to see the beauty of passing day. Flowers that impel my love, moments that some only hear of. Loving under a waterfall, hearing the owl's midnight call, whispers from the ocean shell, whispers that you and I can tell. And you could bring these moments to my mind. For you could are an island, one of a kind, one of a kind.
Good morning, this is Safari Helicopters in Hilo, Hawaii on a beautiful Tuesday morning, the 28th of January 2003. Join us today in the back, we're going to have Carrie and Graham, Elliot and Laurie, and up front, Gary and Chuck.
Rainbows, jewels of a misty crown, craters covered with a silken gown, stars that always shone so bright, scattered throughout the lovely night, where true love befell my soul, true love that came upon a grassy knoll. And you could bring these moments to my mind. For you could are an island, one of a kind, one of a kind. Loving under a waterfall, hearing the owl's midnight call, whispers from the ocean shell, whispers that you and I can tell. Stars that always shone so bright, scattered throughout the lovely Hey, where did we go? Day when the rains came down in a hollow, playing a new game, laughing and running.
Okay, good morning, aloha. My name's Jim. I'll be your pilot this morning. Can everybody hear me okay? Alrighty, good. Before I get going, I'd like to know who's on board my aircraft. You want to start in the back, pick up the microphone, push the button in pretty close to your mouth. Tell me your name and where you're from.
I'm Carrie, and I'm from Australia.
Australia, well, welcome to sunny Hilo.
Hi, I'm Graham. I'm from Canberra, which is the capital city of Australia.
Alrighty, welcome.
I'm Dave from St. Louis.
St. Louis, okay?
I'm Lori from St. Louis also.
Alrighty, welcome.
I'm Chuck from Denver.
Denver, okay, welcome to sunny Hilo.
I'm Gary from Longmont, Colorado.
Alrighty. Well, everybody, welcome to Hilo. You picked a fairly good day. We don't get many sunny days in Hilo. Now that you all know how to use the microphones, do me a big favor. Don't use them anymore. At least for 10 minutes, okay? Just until I get out of the airport, quit talking to radar and the tower and that. And once I start my briefing, if you do have any questions, you can ask me. If I don't know the answers, I make stuff up. I'm getting really good at it. To tell you the truth, I don't know which is which anymore. Now, it is required I give you another briefing by the FAA. Back there in the seat pocket, you'll see some briefing cards. And check right here by your right leg, there's some cards down here. About having another quick look at them for me. Of course, there is no smoking in around the aircraft. And when you do exit, please only go to the forward part. Seatbelts are like a normal car seatbelt. Pick up on that latch, they do release. Please keep them buckled all the time. It'll bump you out there today with the weather moving through. And especially once we get over by the volcano, going up and down the slopes due to the thermal and gas it puts out. So keep your seatbelts on. I'll make it as smooth as I can for you. And of course, no electronic equipment like cell phones and computers and that. Just your normal camera and video equipment only, please. Now, as far as normal and emergency exits, over here by your right leg, all right? Normal exits, just push down that handle, the door swings open, okay? I also have an emergency release up here by my knee. Same thing over there by you, Carrie. You gotta push down that black handle, the door swings open, okay? That's a normal exit. Then over there by you, Gary, you gotta pull that plastic protective cap off first and then pull up on the orange handle. Okay, the door will fall off that way. Outside left-hand compartment of the aircraft, there is an emergency locator transmitter if we need it. Under the rear seat, I have a first aid kit. And over here between myself and the door, there's a fire extinguisher. You pull the pin out, squeeze the handle, aim it at the base of a fire. Really simple. I have never used one in 33 years. I do not want to start this morning, okay? But there it is, just in case. Now, for the really, really important stuff. Same seat pocket you got these cards out of. There are some blue Aloha bags in there. Please, if you feel queasy at all, do not hesitate to use them. They make me clean the aircraft up at night. Now, also, if you do use them, do me a big favor. Seal them up, take them with you. I've been here long enough. I have enough Hawaiian souvenirs. I don't need any more of them. Now, you can either do two things with them. If you're nice, you can drop in that yellow can up there. But if you're like me, you try to hand them back to Jason. It's worth it just to see the expression on his face. But I didn't tell you to do that. Now, I do got over the water, show you some of that lava going into the Pacific. Now, I'm always able to glide back on land. But if something should happen, unlikely event, I have to put it in the water, make sure you take your headset off before you put your life jacket on, okay? Hook to the aircraft, you could get tangled. So for any reason we're in the water, take off your headset, put on your life jacket, wait for my rotors to stop, and then open the doors, exit, and inflate on the outside. Okay, I'm back with you. If you look down, we're just coming up over the Mahalo macadamia nut farm. Those smaller trees down there, those are the macadamia nut trees. And the tall dark green trees are North Fork Island pines. They're strictly put there as a windbreak to help protect the nut tree. Now, originally, the macadamia nut tree came over from Queensland, Australia, back in the 1870s. Was first though brought over only as an ornamental tree, lined people's driveways and yards. Now, we really didn't start producing the nut here on the Big Island to the late 1920s. It's about the same time someone invented the husking machine for the nut. They do take over 300 psi pressure to open them up. Today, it is our main cash crop. We do produce over 66 million pounds of macadamia nuts a year. It's about a $44 million industry on the island alone. So you can see how important it is to the economy. Now, all told, there's over 630 separate macadamia nut farms on the island, which produce 95% of all the Hawaiian macadamia nuts. Now, we are overflying the Big Island, called Hawaii. We are larger than all the rest of the Hawaiian islands put together. We have an area over 4,000 square miles. Puts us a little bit bigger than our state of Connecticut. Of course, we're still growing. Coming up here underneath us is a large subdivision down here. Basically, it's a suburb of Hilo. Now, it's called Hawaiian Paradise Park. If you look down as we fly over, it looks like they all have above-ground swimming pools in their backyard. A lot of them are covered up with a black material to keep the dirt and bugs out. Now, what these really are is a water catchment system. Hawaiian Paradise Park receives no water supply from Hilo. They are entirely dependent out here on rain. Now, it does rain sufficiently. 135 years is the average. Some years over 200. Their main source of water is entirely from rain. Of course, some of them do go to town buy bottled water for drinking, and others have a sophisticated purification system. Now, I've noticed flying over here, some of these homes have 3, 4, even 5 tanks in their yard. Well, it's my theory, and mine only, but I'm going to go down and check it out one day. I just bet you, though, the more tanks they have, the more kids they have. Now up here in the front left, that large open brown area over there, that is Hawaiian homeland. It has been set aside for anyone with Hawaiian blood. As of yet today, there is no development though allowed out in this area. Now just past there, out in that little rain shower, is the other end of the island out there called Cape Kumahaki. Just all another 6-8 miles out in that rain. Now, Cape Kumahaki actually in Hawaiian means the first beginning. Now, they named it that. That is the easternmost part of all Hawaii over there. So that's where the sun first begins their day, up over Hawaii. Now, the Cape also happens to be on the eastern end of the rift zone, which runs across our nose here left to right, 35 miles up to the Kilauea caldera. You can actually see where it is out there under these clouds, and all those small hills out in the front as you go around. Those are nothing more than dormant volcanoes. And they're sitting right on top of this rip zone. Now also over there on the left as we go by, those large black areas down there in the ground. Now those are mainly orchid and anthurium farms. Now orchid and anthuriums do not grow well in direct sunlight. So they have to cover them up with that black porous material. It diffuses the sun off of them, allows all that rain to go through. Today on the island alone, that's over a $15 million industry. And we do, of course, export our flowers all around the world.
Don't it fall so free? Take a walk in the rain and let the rain wash away your pain.
Now, just coming up here underneath us is the rainforest. Most of the trees over here on our side are ohia trees. Now, we do have some hippo ferns down there, which is that real light green tree you might see. For a fern tree, they can get all the way up to 25, 30 feet tall. There's also some koa hardwood trees, which is a native tree here to Hawaii. And of course we have some scattering of other old sandalwood, nut trees. The biggest thing though down in our rainforest is today we still have a lot of wild boar, wild pigs, goats, deer, and even some turkeys down there. And of course Hawaiians and others still come out here and do some hunting.
So I waited for my chance. That's when I asked if she'd like to dance. She took me.
Now, the active part of the Kilauea system is called the Puhu-O'o vent, which is directly in front of us. Now, she actually started up January 3rd, 1983. Had some campers out here that night. Actually got awoke by a fire. Of course, they reported it. The next morning, the forestry service came out here to put their forest fire out. Found they had a live volcano on their hands instead. Well, needless to say, they didn't put their forest fire out. But they did evacuate the area, and it was a good thing. It was only a week later. This vent started spewing lava 1,400 feet to 1,500 feet up into the air. And that's what made this splatter cone. Now, she was really active like that the first 6-8 months, and then she started slowing down. Well, only 2.5 years later, in 1986, all the activity left the vent completely. But a large lava pool was formed just 2 miles east of it, called the Kupina'a lava pool. And it's actually this lava that went down the slope and destroyed more than 200 homes. Now, this lava pool was really active from 86 to 92, and then it just dried up. Left a few craters up on the top, and all the activity went back to the vent, where she's been ever since. You see coming up here in the front left, some of the older flows that stayed up here on the top back in the 50s and 60s.
Me rockin' so you can't stop the road. Whosoever turns come straight from the ball. The K to the A to the B to the E to the N to the A. Watch if they understand. This is your invitation.
Dancing in the hilo rain. Dancing. Dancing in the hilo rain. Dancing.
Now, the smoke you'll see coming out of it, we get up here a little bit closer, is mainly sulfur dioxide. There's actually very little coming out today, and been this way for the last couple months. On a normal day, though, they estimate she puts out over 2,000 tons of sulfur dioxide gas every day. I don't feel too bad now about driving my car around anymore. Now what actually happens up here is the lava pools up in the vent and then runs down lava tubes 7 miles down to the Pacific where they empty into it. Well, at the end of last January, something happened out here. Probably a small earthquake, and left all these tubes blocked up, left all the lava up here on the top. Well, on Mother's Day in May, they opened up again and started flowing down right on the edge of the Volcano National Park, and finally made it back to the water back in September. In fact, you look in here as we go around the vent, you will see how high the floor is in there. It's almost up to the top. It rose 30 to 40 feet between January and May. That's where that lava was pulling up. The crust in here is around 3 or 4 foot thick. There's hot molten lava underneath there, and occasionally you can see it bubbling up. Now on the back left wall, there is some holes called skylights. Looks like the smoke's pretty thick today. Also though, on this front edge, there's a large skylight where some smoke comes out, and you might see some lava bubbling out of there this morning. Like I say, it really depends on the smoke and the wind in here. Now I'm going to come around and put it on the right side first, and I'll swing it back around the other way. I said, this very front edge here, you might see some lava. Looks like the smoke is pretty thick in there the way the winds are. Yeah, I don't think we're going to see it today. There's not much wind out here today, and the smoke's just hanging in there. Usually it'll get in there and blow it out, and you'll see some of that orange lava, but I don't think we're going to see much today. Come back around and try to look on the other side. See if we can sneak around the backside here if the smoke's not too thick. Get you a look on it. Usually, the wind blows all this out of the way and you can see inside there. Oh, there's some orange there. You can just see it now. Just came in. Ah, great. Over in this backside, you'll see some instruments back here. Right on the very lip. Those are geology instruments down there that measure the expansion contraction of the crater. There's even a closed-circuit TV camera. Geologists can sit in a room in a lab 24 hours a day and watch this. See exactly what's going on out here. Ah, there's a good shot of it. You see how high that floor is in there? In this backside here, you see a big hole. That caved in 97. Just from the sheer weight, she fell back in herself. Come around here one more quick turn and see if we can get you another look at that lava. And now come on the right side. There you go. Just see it coming into view now. Pretty good hole there. You see how close it is to the surface down there? Come around here one more time. See, it's only about 3 or 4 feet thick under there, and this is where that lava sticks in, or pulls up, and then runs down these tubes. Now, there's 2 types of lava you'll see in here. There's that silvery rope-like lava, which is called oil lava. It is the hottest. It gets up to 2,000 degrees. It can travel 30 to 35 miles an hour. There it comes in review now. The other type you'll see in sections all through here is that rocky looking reddish black lava. It's called lava. No, it's much cooler. It only gets up to 1400 degrees and only moves 1 to 2 miles an hour. Now we'll follow the tube down here. You can see it running down here, and it vents gas as it runs through here. Some of it's actually surfaced this morning, and it's getting some of these trees back on fire. Now this is right at the edge of the Volcano National Park. All these dead trees you see out here in the front, be on the right side as we go down. They have been dead for many years. The lava didn't kill them. This is the way the prevailing wind blows. Acid rain off that gas got them. If down here on the right, you'll see some burning fires. I come down here and I'll come back around for the left side. There's a couple flows that have just popped out here, started some trees on fire. Here's a pretty good one here. A couple good flows down this way. You see how it just kind of creeps up on those trees and burns the underbrush. There's a nice flow over here on the right. Then I'll come around for the other side. Oh yeah, there's quite a big flow here. Oh, that's nice today. Swinging around here for the other. Pretty good flows down there today. Now these all must have started up last night. There's very little out here yesterday and the day before.
You know what I mean? Just the two of us and nobody else. In sight, there's nobody else. And I'm feeling good, just holding you tight. So listen very carefully, closer now, and you will see what I mean. It isn't a dream. The only sound that you will hear is when I whisper in your ear, I love you. For